Welcome to Rickrack Ruby. I'm Laura Kluvo. Today we will be making a Snowboy and a Snowgirl from 5-inch charm squares. They're fun and easy, so let's get started. As I work my way through the Dear Christmas pre-cuts, there are 2 of these white sort of gingham prints. And so of course I'm thinking snowman. So let's make a snowman ornament. I'm going to fold it in half and right sides together. It's hard to tell, but this is the right side. And stitch up the side seam. And before I turn it right side out, I'm going to fold the seam allowance over to one side and gather up the bottom. Now I'll turn this right side out. It's just a little tube at this point. There we go, nice and firm all the way to the top. And now I will gather up the top. I'm using this button and craft thread because it's nice and strong. Just a single strand. So I'm going to gather this up about 1/4 of an inch down from the top edge. Again with a running stitch. I'm tucking the ends in here. This will be covered by the hat, so it's not super important for it to be neat, but it is super important for it to be tight. Now with the same strand of thread, I'm going to form the neck. So I'll go straight down through there and come out at the back seam. This is about the size of a marshmallow right here. And then I'm going to wrap around the neck. Nice, okay. And then I'll secure this thread in the back. The neck will be covered by a scarf or a tie or something. So I'm not worried about this not showing. Now let's draw and embroider the face. The seam is the back of the head. So opposite the seam will be the front. So I'll make 2 little eyes. Don't make them too high, because once you get the hat on, you won't even notice the face. And then a carrot nose. I'm gonna make this one a girl. So I'll leave the eyebrows off and I'll give her a little smile like this. I have 2 strands of black floss for her eyes. I'll secure the thread in the back and come out at the top of one of these eyes. And so with 2 strands, I'm going to, let's see, make 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty cute. So now I'll try to approximate that on the other side. That looks pretty cute. Now I have 2 strands of orange floss for the carrot nose. It's very small. I'm just going to do a little satin stitch from side to side and taper down. I don't need it to be exactly like a carrot, just kind of the impression of a carrot. This is going to the side. It's cute. Good. Now I'll secure this on the top. I have a hat going on the top, so I'm not too worried about all these knots. Now for the mouth, I'm going to use red. 2 strands of red. For her mouth, I'll do a fly stitch. From side to side. And then like this. And then just go around the thread. So this is in the middle. And then this goes to the outside, which is the bottom. And it'll pull that center of the stitch into a V. And hopefully it looks kind of like a sweet little smile. Then I'll secure this thread on the top. Then we'll add a little bit of blush to her cheek. That purple marker is the kind that it just disappears into the air. It might take a day or two, but sometimes it leaves right away. It doesn't stay around long enough. I made a 4.5-inch circle. I've got 2 of these charm squares, the 5-inch charm squares, and I'm going to cut out this circle. I just drew this with a compass. Here's my compass. Just drew with a compass. Boop. And there's my 4.5-inch circle. I'm going to sew around the edge with a 1/4-inch seam allowance. I plan to make the red plaid the top of the hat. I'm making a little kind of a gathered bonnet type of style, and this will be the underside. So I'm going to stitch all the way around. Now I'll clip a little bit around the edge here and there. And then I'm going to trim my seam allowance, just about half of it, half of my seam allowance. Now I'm going to turn it to the right side. How am I going to do that? I didn't leave an opening. Right. I'm going to make a cut into this. This is the inside. So I can turn through here. So this is a circle, and I'm going to press it. And by the way, if you were really ambitious, you could put rickrack or another trim along the edge. There we go. I'm going to use a couple strands of this red pearl cotton to gather up the edge of the circle. I've come all the way around, so I'm going to pull it up nice and tight and then open it up, distributing the fullness evenly. So let's get this to fit her just right. Pull that back over her face. Cute. You can tell there's too many gathers on the one side. I want to make sure that her face is still is showing. I think I'll put a little bit of stuffing in her hat. I will pin it, and then I'm going to sew it to the head. Like this, just sort of down, through, pull. Down, through, pull. Now I'll secure this thread at the back. So let's go ahead and sew the buttons on. I have 2 black buttons, and they're from Hobby Lobby, and the package looks like this. These are the black. Let's add a couple of buttons. Try to get that right in the middle. I'm going to tie a little bit of baker's twine around her neck, kind of like a little, I don't know, a little decoration. Should I make a bow? Maybe I'll make a bow. Okay. I'll go around a couple times. I just want to make sure it covers the thread. That'll work. I'm going to add a little smudge of glue right here in the center of the bow. I'll use baker's twine for a hanging loop also. Here's the little boy snowman. I made his face the same way, except I added eyebrows and I gave him a single stitch with a double strand of red floss to form his mouth. Then with this 4.5-inch circle pattern, I cut a circle of this green fabric. Just one circle. I'm going to cut this in half and stitch this seam right here, the curved edge. This is still open, the straight edge is still open, and then I stitched the curved edge and I sliced it in a few places to be sure that it would turn to a nice curved seam. Now I'm going to press it. That looks good. Now I'm going to fold this together and I'm going to stitch right here. Now there are better, cleaner, and more professional ways to do a lined hat like this, but this is a fast way. There we go. So his hat is going to be like this. It's so cute. See how it fits just perfectly? And just gives it a little rim right around his face. I'm going to add a little bit of stuffing into the point, and then we'll add a pom-pom. There's that cute little pom-pom. Just a little pinch of polyfill in the point. You don't really even have to do that if you don't want to, but I just want it to stay kind of pointy. Okay, now I'm going to make sure this seam is in the back center and pin that around the head. I'm going to use the red pearl cotton again. And that, if I sew neatly, it can add a little bit of a decorative element around the hat, about 1/4 inch in. Let's just go ahead and do the buttons. Now I'm back up at the neck and I'm going to secure the thread at the back of his neck underneath his hat. I came up with a couple of options for his scarf. Okay, I had a 10-inch layer cake square, and so I cut a 2.5-inch strip and you know, made a little tube and top stitched it, but it was too heavy. I'll show you what I mean. I mean, it's not terrible. And I could use it, but I just didn't think it was quite right. So I made another option, which is lighter. And that is, I cut a 1.5 inch strip from a layer cake square. And you can see this was from the edge. So it has that pinking on the edge. And I think that if I tie this around, it'll be a little bit better. Let's see. I think this is going to be good. All right, I'm going to tack this down with a little bit of glue. There we go. Okay, adorable. We'll use baker's twine for his hanging loop. And besides a pom-pom, I don't really think he needs any other embellishment on his hat or anywhere else. Thank you for watching my tutorial. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, share, and subscribe.